Choosing the correct Google Ads bidding strategy can make the difference between a successful campaign and one that gets no results. So let's talk about what the different bid strategies are for Google Ads, what makes each unique, and then from there you can make a decision about what bidding strategy you want to use for your specific use case. So we just have a new campaign. This is a dummy campaign that we're setting up here, just so you can see the different options for setting a bid strategy. Now we've already used some different bid strategies, so it's automatically suggesting the target cost per action. However, we're going to just click select bid strategy directly. So because this campaign, the goal of this campaign is to get leads, it's automatically suggesting that we use conversions, and it's gonna, basically ask us a question so that we can make a determination. Ultimately, Google Ads has set this up so that everybody can use their platform. You don't have to have any real previous knowledge, or at least that's their goal. It may not really be the case in real life, but what I'm going to do here is actually click this button or this link to select a bid strategy directly. It's saying not recommended because it's for people that actually have some experience with the platform and they understand what these different bid strategies are. But after this video, you'll have an understanding, so you can use this option here. So once I click over to here, then it's just going to let me directly select the bid strategy. So right now it's set to maximize conversions. Now the only problem is if you're setting up a brand new campaign, in a brand new Google Ads account, you're not going to have any conversion data. So it's going to be impossible for Google to maximize your conversions because it uses machine learning, and the machine learning algorithms need data in order to make decisions. So if you're just starting from scratch, I always suggest starting with maximize clicks. That's going to help feed their learning algorithm some data so that it can optimize for these different bid strategies appropriately. Now with maximize clicks, let's say we have a daily ad spend budget of $15. What maximize clicks is going to do is it's going to take that $15 daily ad spend budget, and it's going to try and go out and get you as many clicks as possible with that $15 per day. So typically that looks like trying to get you a little bit cheaper traffic so it can maximize the clicks that you're getting. But if it needs to spend a little bit more in order to get you another click to spend your full $15 in the day, it's going to do that. So this is what you'd want to use if you're just starting from scratch, brand new campaign without any conversion data. In order to move away from maximize clicks, I guess there is one other option here. You have manual cost per click. So manual cost per click is essentially going to be where you set the cost per click. So this is the only strategy where there's no machine learning involved. Well, I guess I shouldn't say that fully, because you do have an enhanced cost per click option where it is still going to use machine learning, but you get to set a limit as far as what you want each click to cost. So let's say you set your limit at $5. With enhanced CPC, it can go above that, but only if it thinks it's going to convert, right? So you can switch that off and just use manual cost per click, set everything yourself. But again, if you're just starting out, I think it's easiest to just use maximize clicks here. You still can set a max click bid limit. So, sometimes you go into an industry and you set up a Google Ads campaign, and most of the clicks are, $5, $6, but there's like one term that it can cost $20 per click, and then your daily ad spend budget is obliterated with one click. So if you find that happening, what you can do is set a max cost per click bid limit. So you can say, okay, I want you to get me as many clicks as possible per day at $15, but I don't want to spend over $5 on any one click, right? So that can be extremely effective in order to keep your cost per click down. So this is what I would suggest doing maximize clicks if it's brand new campaign. Now, if you've set up, so what I recommend is if you're going to use maximize clicks, make sure your conversion tracking is all set up properly so that Google can start tracking your conversions, so that you can then start switching over to some of these where machine learning gets involved, and the results tend to be a little bit better. So in order to do that, you're going to have to come over to Tools and Settings. Under Measurement, click on Conversions. And that's going to open up your conversions page here. So for this campaign in this account, let me move this over a little bit so you can see this properly. We have a couple of different conversions that we're tracking. So calls from ads, which is when somebody sees a call extension, so a phone number in an ad, and they click on it and call the business. So in the last month, we've had 20 conversions worth $6,000 from that. And then first-time phone calls, we've had 57 first-time phone calls for a value of roughly $17,000. And then request a quote, which is like a form submission. So you can see here the source is a website. And 47 conversions from that, worth about $7,000. So once you have conversion tracking set up, which I can't really go into in detail in this video, but once you have your conversion tracking set up and you start running your campaign with maximize clicks, that's going to start getting some conversion data built up. Once you have 5 to 10 conversions, somewhere in that range, then Google's going to have enough information. Its machine learning algorithms are going to have enough information to start using some of these other options here. So the second option is maximize conversions. And there's actually a couple of different, or at least one sub-option within maximize conversions. So all this means, maximize conversions, is Google is going to take your $15 per day in ad spend, and it's going to try to get you as many conversions as possible with that $15 per day. So it might not be the cheapest cost per click, meaning it might spend a little bit more on certain clicks because it thinks those clicks are going to result in conversions based on all the data it's collected, and its machine algorithms or machine learning algorithms are processing all that data to figure out, okay, this person searched for this thing and they have all these other similarities to somebody who searched this thing and converted through your campaign. So beyond maximize conversions, that would be the next step. So you go from maximize clicks to maximize conversions. If that's playing out well for you and you're seeing that you're getting more conversions based on just switching that over, then what you can do is set a target cost per action. So our action is a lead, right, of any source. So whether they call us from the ad extension, call from the landing page, or request a quote from the landing page, whatever action you're targeting, which is essentially a conversion here, we want to set the target cost per action. So for us, a conversion is costing somewhere around $20, $25, somewhere in that range. So if we set the target cost per action at $21, what Google's going to do is it's going to take your $15 per day in ad spend, and it's going to use that to try to get as many conversions as possible at this cost per action, meaning cost per conversion in this case. If you were running a sales campaign like on an e-commerce site, the cost per action would be $21 per purchase on the website. In this case, it's a lead, so somebody that fills out a form or calls in, right? So ultimately, that is going to allow Google to spend even more or less on any given click, but in doing so, it's going to try to keep you around $21 per action, in this case, conversion. So ultimately, that can further drive up your conversions and get you more conversions for about the same ad spend budget, right? But you have to have some conversion data in order to know what your target cost per action is and switch this all over. Now from there, the next step would be to move to maximize conversion value. Now I was showing you previous in the conversions data that we have, see where it says all conversion value here? So we've preset, anytime somebody makes a call, we know that that lead, based on the closing rate and the value of the service, that those leads are worth $300. So 20 of those leads is worth about $6,000, right? And Furthermore, we've got first-time phone calls, which are actually worth a bit more because those tend to convert because the business owner can just answer the phone, close the sale, and it's good to go, right? So we've set a target, or we've set a conversion value that's slightly higher, whatever, $450, $500, somewhere in that range. And so each of those conversions is worth more, right? So when we have that conversion value data, what Google can do is it can go out and try to maximize the value of your conversions. So like I was saying, with somebody that fills out a form on the website, so 48 people did that in the last month, those are worth a little bit less because somebody has to follow up with those leads. Who knows if they're even going to pick up the phone, versus a first-time phone call where a lead calls, the business owner answers, closes the sale on the phone, done and done. That's going to be worth a lot more in this specific scenario. So now Google knows that. So what it's going to do is it's going to take that $15 per day in ad spend budget and try to get you the highest conversion value based on that daily ad spend budget. So for this particular situation, it's going to try to feed us more first-time phone callers than form submissions because we've told Google that the value of these leads is higher than the value of these leads. So now it can use its machine learning algorithms to go out and get you more valued, higher value leads over time. Once you have that running and Google has figured out what your overall conversion value is, so overall for this campaign over the last month, it's $30,000. Now we can switch over to target return on ad spend. So in this campaign, we're spending about $3,000 per month on ads, and that's resulting in $30,000 per month in revenue, which is insane. That's like a 10x return on investment. So if you turn that into a percentage, it's about 1,000 to 1,100% return on ad spend, meaning for every $3,000 we spend, we get back $30,000 to $35,000 in revenue. And so that the return on the ad spend is 1,100%, which is awesome, right? So now Google can, with this bid strategy, go out and try to get as many conversions as possible so long as our return on ad spend is at or above 1,100%. And ultimately, each time you get more specific with these conversion bidding strategies, when you go from maximize conversions to target cost per action, and then to maximize conversion value, and then eventually target return on ad spend, you tend to just get better and better results. So Google's getting more data, you're better able to tell Google what to go after. So you'll tend to get a higher return on ad spend if you work through these different bid strategies and end up getting to target return on ad spend. Now, that's just the logical path to take. Sometimes, and I have had this happen with clients, where it doesn't matter which of these other maximizing conversion bid strategies we use, it never performs as well as maximizing clicks. So it's something that you need to test. And the general rule of thumb is anytime you switch your bid strategy around from anything that has to do with conversions, so let's say you go from maximize conversions to maximize conversion value, anytime you switch the bid strategy, you want to give Google about 2 to 3 weeks to then relearn. So its algorithms are going to take the new data and figure out what to do in order to get you the best results. So if you came in here and you went from max clicks to max conversions to max conversion value all in 1 week, that's not going to give Google enough time to know what to do to improve the results of your campaign. So those are going to be the most common. There is one last target impression share, and this is typically for brand terms. So, let's say you have a McDonald's, that's kind of a random example, a McDonald's franchise in Phoenix, Arizona. So you want, anytime somebody in your general vicinity searches for McDonald's in your area, you want your ad to show up every single time, like 100% of the time. So what you can do is set the percentage. So if we set this to 100, That means that anytime somebody searches for McDonald's within that area, our ad is going to show up, right? You wouldn't really want to use this for anything outside of brand terms. So brand terms meaning terms people search to find your specific business. So whatever that is, Roto-Rooter plumbing or McDonald's or whatever your business is. If somebody searches for it and you want to show up, this is the way to do it. So just to recap, if you're starting a new campaign, I would suggest starting out with maximize clicks. And then when you do that, you want to set up your conversion tracking so that Google can start collecting this conversion data. Once you have 5 to 10 conversions, somewhere in there, you can go ahead and switch over to maximize conversions. And after you've gotten some conversions, let that run for 2 to 3 weeks, and you know what your cost per action is, which is just your cost per lead in this specific scenario. Then you can set a target cost per action, so we know it's going to be around $21. Then from there, we can switch, once we have some conversions and some conversion value data in here, then we can switch to maximize conversion value, and then ultimately to target return on ad spend. So that's kind of the sequence. And if you use the recommendations in Google, they'll typically walk you through that same process too. So I hope you found that helpful. If there's anything you had questions about in terms of bidding strategies on Google Ads, don't hesitate to reach out. You can just drop your questions in the comment section below. I'll be sure to get back to them there. And until next time, take care. Look, if you're the type of person that just doesn't even want to deal with Google Ads anymore, then you can always reach out to me. My company is Missoula SEO Geek. I'll leave a link to my website down below, but we do manage Google Ads for different companies in different industries, and you can come learn about what we do, what makes us unique. You can even read some of the testimonials from some businesses that we've taken from 0 to over $1 million in revenue, like this one here. And really just see that, this is the type of thing that's going to explode your business growth. So feel free to reach out. You can always give us a call or contact us through our website, and look forward to working with you.